Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Dragon Age Season 3 campaign, also known as Dragon Age Ascension. We are still in Orlais and probably tying up some loose ends before we move on, but first I wanted to go and talk about our warm-up question for today. This is session number 10. According to my calculations, we're approximately 2/5 through this campaign, nearing the halfway point. So, I wanted to ask the players if for one day, and you know it was only for one day, you could hypothetically swap bodies with another PC, which means you would be able to enjoy their abilities, maybe even I would say even like experience some of their personal experiences, maybe even have some of their memories, perhaps, from back in the day. If you were able to do that, just hypothetically, and again, it's not meant to be anything um, mischievous or anything like that. It's purely from the sense of understanding, or just because you might just have fun being able to do what they can do for a day. Who would that PC be and why? Um, and I would love for you to also to pick an NPC to switch bodies with and experience their experiences for the day. It does not have to be a party NPC.
Oddly, I think Pasha would actually pick to swap bodies with Russo.
Hmm.
Not, even though they've got like very, like they're both warriors and that kind of thing. It's not for the abilities that Russo possess. To be perfectly blunt, it's because Russo has horns. She could
Hmm.
experience what it is like to be a
Ah. Hmm.
Kunari rather
Interesting.
than a human Kunari.
I didn't realize that mattered to her. Can you expand on that a little bit? I didn't realize it mattered to her, but
Like it's a very deep-seated feeling of something that she buries very deep down is this feeling of I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I'm Kunari, but I'm not Kunari. I'm human, but I'm not human. And I think there have been many, many times throughout her life, like we saw it last session with Cersei being like, "Oh, you're Kunari? What?" Like, I think there have been many times throughout her life where on Saharon, someone's kind of come up to her and said, "Oh, it's so good that someone like you can speak Cunlat so well." And she's like, "Well, of course I speak Cunlat so well. I was born here." Like the assumption is that someone of her age must be a convert. And so I think that's why she reacted so badly to Cersei. And her first reaction was like, well, I'm going to call him stupid. That's what I'm going to do. And so I think that experiencing, you know, all, like the having horns, the tallness, even the prejudices that Russo would face, I think she's kind of like, I would like to experience that, but it's a very deep seated, like, no, we push this feeling down, we push it down, ignore it, kind of thing. And as for an NPC, Queen Antonia.
oh, why would Pasha want to swap with Queen Antonia? Just out of
I
curiosity.
think part of it is that Queen Antonia is a woman in a very powerful
Yes.
position. And I think Pasha, not that she is in her own way a woman in a powerful position. The Tamazrans kind of run Kunari society, but I think she's kind of like, oh, outside of that, here is like I think Pasha's more used to thinking of like foreign kings and dukes and things like that. So I think she's like, oh, that would be interesting. Also, I think as much as Pasha is afraid of magic, and she's just, I think there's a little tiny part of herself, again, that she kind of finds a bit perverse in her, just because of how she was raised. I think part of her is like, I wonder what it would be like to be magic. And Antonia, who is so confident and sure of herself and very much, I'm not going to fall. I think she'd be like,
Interesting.
that person.
Okay.
I'm debating between Rousseau, or either Cedric or Andrea, for one specific reason all throughout. They all have kids.
Oh, interesting.
So Daretham would like Ceres and Verania, the two of them, were very much his entire world when they came into it, and he loved them dearly, both. And I think he would lean towards. I don't know if I would probably be either Cedric or Andrea. I'm not really sure which. He'd probably be fine with a toss up of either because he'd be able to have experience just for a day having someone young. And even though it's a child rather than a sister, it's roughly the same thing considering his and Ceres's age gap. And also have someone else, a partner who he can love and like know that he is comforted and trusted by, and he can do the same to them. So that, yeah, it would be either Cedric or Andre just because of that option to have a family.
Pick Andrea because if you're Cedric, you have to climb stairs. that, and if you pick Andrea, you get to have Darren on the side. Just so
Yeah.
Well, you can
And you
argue
get a whole-
Cedric because he's done it before.
That's true.
Yeah, and you get to see and you get to see Daretham with like the entirety of the Antivan crows at his
That's
beck and
true.
call for a day.
That's true.
Yeah, so Andrea then, and then for
Can I just
NPC.
say? Oh, sorry. I was
Go
just
ahead. Go ahead.
So you're saying that Pasha doesn't have children? How dare you, Dominic? How dare you?
Well, it's the fact. Okay, that's a good point. But it was mostly the fact of two things. One, the Kuhn, which the more he hears about, the more he's like, I could possibly like that, but yeah, because I have a very personal connection with the people I love. So yeah, I don't think he'd be able to do that. And then also, there is the fact that Cedric and Andrea have them; they have each other. And then for NPC, I was really wondering what the fuck to do for NPC because I was like, I don't know. And suddenly I realized as I was looking scrolling the NPC list, it doesn't matter who, any Grey Warden.
Oh, interesting.
Any Grey Warden, specifically because he has, for a big majority of his life, been corrupted by the taint. He has heard the call of the old gods. He has been unable to resist the call. And until he was finally awakened. But even when awakened, he still has his physical corrupted appearance, and he still has the threat of spreading the taint to others. He wants to spend a day being able to effectively have power over the taint. Not even to like kill Darkspawn, to just be able to walk around in society knowing he has the taint, but saying, no, I control you now. You don't own me. You can't do anything to me. To hear the call of the old god and say, fuck you.
Alrighty. This is actually quite difficult to choose for specifically a PC switch, because honestly, I don't know what would be good, but specifically, it would be interesting. I think they would be interested in swapping buzz with Leon. And specifically want to see the life from where he got from becoming essentially being taken away and having to now live in the circle mage, just to see how they operate as just a group of people under this one building, because he doesn't know how the mages work. He doesn't know what their daily schedule life is like. He doesn't know if they are in the similar situation that he was in. And he wants to understand like the reasoning of like he wants to feel the reasoning of learning blood magic from a book that was from his parents.
I said, and you're also curious if Leon can actually hear Mr. Bunn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's a possibility.
That's a secret only Leon knows.
Yeah,
I just want to point out, if that's Tyrion's perspective, and Tion is the thing, you'd kind of be fucking yourself.
Oh God!
Sorry.
For crap's sake, you son of Anyway.
How about
Alright,
NPC?
NPC. This is. I actually had a hard time choosing NPC. I was gonna actually go for a very obvious answer, Dan, but then I went no. I want to experience the one who essentially brought Tyrion to life, Lord Amron Forfax.
Oh
I want
my.
Tyrion would want to know why, of all the reasons why Amryn would do all these things to him. What does he get off with it? Does he have a plan with him? Like what is this Lord's daily life when Tyrion is not there? That's what he wants to know. What does he?
Follow-up question to that, because that's a really interesting answer. Would Tyrion be at all afraid that he would earn sympathy with Amryn somehow by being in his shoes? Is there fear that he might actually end up being sympathizing with the man after the fact?
Oh God.
Because you don't know what his childhood was like. You don't know how
Yeah.
he was raised. You don't know how he became the man he is. What if you found that out?
Out of all honesty, if it's just from a childhood or like whatever, like a specific moments in his life, maybe. But out of everything else, he would not. He could have changed. He could have been different. Like he could have broken through, but instead he essentially crawled in and is the man as he is. So he would only feel sympathy for a little bit, but then that would just disappear because he could have broken away.
So Tyrion would have no fear that he would end up ultimately sympathizing the man.
No.
No fear. Okay.
No fear.
Leon is very into magic and then how it all translates through. So he'd probably want to switch with Darathim, though not because he doesn't. He's a little hesitant because of at least from my perspective, Darathim's long list of just mental scars going for him. It's also going to be
of help over here.
it's fine, but because he was there when blood magic was first created at the height of the blood magic empire, and then just seeing how that goes through. He's also talked about like the various things that could be done with blood magic, as well as he's very into spirit and entropy magic. So being able to experience those types of magics. Also, he's tainted, so being an emissary, he's got magic through that. So just being able to trace the magic line all through his history would be very interesting. And then for NPCs, how about that high dragon right on the edge of town?
You want to experience what it's like being a dragon. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Like that'd be super neat. Also, he'd be able to figure out where the heck did they come from, because high dragons are intelligent and have lived for quite a long time. So you'd have an idea of where they came from.
You sure you don't want to swap bodies with Pyrrhus?
Well,
because Pyrrhus really wants to swap bodies with you. The things he could do if he actually has limbs.
Oh yeah, think about the chaos he would sow until the Templars come and smash him.
No. He wouldn't sow any chaos. The first thing he would do is just take Mr. Bunn. Just spend a day with him.
They go off on a picnic. They go frolicking in through the meadows.
Until they finally come to an accord and then take over the world, because then you always know if Templars around, because Mr. Bunn will be like, ping, there's other people around, time to run.
Maybe Pirates possibility with Tyrion, so you could like give us all suggestions, but not being you. At least he likes you. No.
Okay, so I waited till the last on this one because it's really hard, because I really wanted to go for the knee-jerk answer and just say the Archon, because you can keep doing it over and over and over and over and over. But no, with Rousseau, I feel like he doesn't really have a high interest in swapping with anyone else because he spent so long trying to get comfortable within his own skin to where he doesn't know anyone else. If he did have to choose between any of the other PCs, it would, without a doubt, be Darathim, simply because Rousseau has a very hard time accepting the Awakened. Like, to him, it's a complete wrong to the world. He doesn't understand why they were given the second chance. It's not that he thinks it was a bad move or that you can't fix things with them. It's just he doesn't get it, simply because he only knows the one perspective of being a child and seeing his whole life ruined by Darkspawn. And when he gets to see Darathim, it would be a chance for him to really like get down to a deeper level and understand what the Darkspawn are truly and deeply, simply because he's been there from day one till now. And he could get that full timeline perspective, even with Dartham's shattered memory. For an NPC, I feel like it'd be Athon, simply because that would allow him to understand like different elven culture from what he was brought up in. And then Russo really didn't even get the full elven culture, because I feel like once his horns got more pronounced, probably most elves in the alienage really didn't like him all that much either, given the reputation of the Kyun. So those would be the two that I go with, simply so he could gain more perspective on what he feels he can't.
For PCs, I'd pick Theobin, because he's never been connected to the Fade, and that's like really odd. Like he's a dwarf, so he's very grounded, and he seems like he has a lot of spirit, but he has no connection to the Fade, so that's fascinating to her, I think. And then for the same reason, I would pick Hugh, because I want to know. I want to know what the tranquility actually feels like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just they're easy, short answers, but yeah, I think that's what she'd go with.
So I would pick Rousseau. He's a family man, and he's not tied to the circle directly. So he's kind of living that life that Cedric took up this mantlet and, the Templars, so that others could live normal lives away from the Fade and away from the dangers of all of that. And he kind of sees Rousseau as like, that person who's just making his way in like a normal life. He still has a family. And I think that's kind of like a steady dream of Cedric's, like that what if scenario. For NPC, it's kind of for the same reason, but just like a different way of going about it. Archer. He seems to be living a more carefree life. Like he's traveling around. He still has some responsibility, but no one's really like looking to him for like these massive decisions or anything. So he's still living his best life, but it's not as stressful, or it could have like different kinds of stress that, he wasn't like, that Cedric wasn't really accounting for. So I think it would just be an interesting adverse.
And things have changed a little bit since then, but
yeah.
Would you be? I'm curious about you swapping bodies while Archer still couldn't talk.
Yeah.
Would you? I think that would be interesting. Just going through a whole day without being able to speak.
Yeah,
and being forced to, I guess, listen to people. Let us dive right in, because I have a lot I want to get through today.
Okay. I assume Cedric is probably putting together his room again, because Pasha came in like a destructive force. And I come, knock, knock. Hello, you free? Like, what's going on?
Cedric would definitely look up, and for a split moment, you'll see like a surprise, like, "Oh, you're here," but then he'll remember, like, "Oh, yes, you're here."
Oh, that's right, the missus.
Yes, come in, of course.
I'm going to come in. I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to lock the door. I'm going to run over and give him a kiss. I'm going to say, I found him. I found him. I found him.
I love the guardians are keeping score. They're like, I'm going to fight them first.
Yes, you did find me.
Not you. I'd say found you. No, him. Pronouns. Balin. I found the guardian of fire. I found him.
You're sure? Because I had to lead on him too, but if you know exactly where he is.
I do. I know exactly where he is. And now I'm thinking about it. He's at the circus right now, like right outside. because that's in town right now. Here's my thought. Rosie's been traveling with the circus and all of those people who we're going to fight a dragon with today, right? So,
Yes.
Balin's there. Why hasn't Rosie told us?
Maybe she just didn't know.
Rosie knows. It's Rosie. Of course she knows. She's like very curious and intelligent. And she knows.
You're thinking one of the mages put some kind of mind control magic on her or something?
She's a dwarf. That doesn't work on her.
I could.
It doesn't.
She can levitate things. I'm pretty sure all normalcies are out the window now.
She's not connected to the Fade, and we've tried with Theo. Long story, don't worry about it. It was a Kenna prank. But just
Kenna prank, say no more. I don't. Unless it's on me, then I want to know.
She'll look at his tea to make sure it's not inked. Fine. I think Rosie knows, and I'm certain, like all these strange people who are all here at the same time now, right? Like they must.
If they would know, surely they would tell us, right?
But they haven't.
But what gain would they get for not telling us?
I don't know. It seems idiotic to me, but how would I know? I don't know what's going through their head. I think we're going to have to sit all of them, including Rosie, down and have a bit of a chat after we kill a dragon. But in the meantime, I could secure the boy if you want. I don't know if that would be too hasty or not, but I could send people to go get him. It's up to you.
While I like that idea, I agree it might be too hasty. Now that you're bringing this all up, I met... I shook the hands of one of them. I can't remember their names. I've met so many people in a day. But
you really ought to get better at that. You're a politician now.
Oh, don't say that, please.
It's true.
No, that's not what I signed up for.
No, it's not, but that's...
Didn't sign up to be corrupt.
I shook one of their hands, and I got this feeling where my mark is, and it told me that he was near the Guardian. He also said he had a child. I don't know how many children are in that circus. I'm assuming a lot.
I don't know. My thing is, if the child was in danger, Rosie would have told us. Like, she wouldn't have kept it a secret. And there's a Tamazaran there, so he's going to be looked after, but also might be indoctrinated into the queue, so they're kind of culty. But
so in danger does not include traveling with someone who's in the queue and people who are chasing after dragons. Got it.
Well, I mean, they're not nefarious themselves, I would assume. Otherwise, Rosie would have told us, right? She's still Rosie. She's not... Unless she's been indoctrinated.
I say we trust no one. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
How about we have a discussion with all of them, Rosie included, after, and then we decide what to be done. We have the power that we can just take the child if necessary, but I don't know if it is.
Might not be.
The very least, I'd want to send them with better protection, and maybe someone who could teach him a little bit about his past, like Violetta. I don't know. That would be a nice person to be with him right now.
I think she should just stay in her area and just stay there.
Darling, whether you like it or not, she's the one most attuned to the fire gauntlet now, so she's the one who has to teach him about it.
Why did we give it to her?
She's very passionate. It works.
She also gave you all those alluvions.
She did do that.
Yeah, well,
Stupid alluvians. Stupid.
stupid alluvion.
Travel is cool.
Travel
we get
wherever you want to go.
we get a
Think of it all.
circus. Stupid.
We just teleport wherever we want to go.
Fuck you! We gotta walk with wagons.
Or we just take her bracer and give it to someone else.
I don't think we should do that.
Every time I bring that up, you always say no.
She's who Hallie would have chosen.
Yes, but now Hallie is back.
Well, it's not really Hallie. It's part of Hallie, but none of the memories. It's just Hallie's soul. And
That's a pretty big thing.
none of, yeah. I don't know. It's weird, timey, whiny soul crap. But Hallie would have chosen her. You need to drop the Violetta thing. She's the guardian until we replace her. Or she'll put a curse on you.
Then I'll put my sword through her. All right, I think we'll just shelve this discussion for now. Kill a dragon, talk to them, see what's going on, why they didn't tell us, why Rosie didn't tell us, and then go from there.
All right. That sounds like a good idea. Oh, and she'll go through a bag. Arabella made you a clay goose at Arts and Crafts. It doesn't look like a goose.
Yes, I think I see it. If you hold it this way, I think that's the front. Yes.
I don't know.
I'll just put that on my desk. So I'm assuming you want to go kill the dragon too?
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
It has been some time.
When was the last time you wet your blade?
I don't think you want to know.
All right, on something cool.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to a metal car.
About 10 years then, I guess.
Let's go then. I will change out of this because this is not. I'm wearing a gown, but then we go. Right.
Should I get Hugh to watch the kids, or do we want Hugh with us and I just assign him to a bunch of Templars?
I mean, you with us would be really fun. When was the last time we all fought together?
About 10 years ago.
We should bring you.
It'd be like old times.
Yeah, it's so nostalgic.
All right.
We can see what these kids like. This new guard, what they're up to, and what powers they have. I'm excited.
So are you saying we just sit back and let them fight the dragon and we watch for a little bit?
Heck no.
And then once a couple of them die, then we go in and help?
I mean, it would make it interesting, but no, we go into.
I agree. It would be pretty interesting.
We need them out. See which one's the strongest.
Exactly.
And season 2 gets killed because of season 2.
Okay, I can resurrect. It's fine.
I was gonna thank you guys and do a total 180 because you're giving us an alluvion, but fuck y'all!
She can resurrect. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're only a little dead. You'll get better.
You only died for a couple seconds. Get over it. It's been way worse for me.
You were dead. I got better.
All right.
All right.
I'll go get you.
Okay. Yeah. Find somebody for the kids to be with. And they're nice and safe, so these people don't counter kidnap our kids.
All right.
Yeah. Because if they try,
They die immediately.
but I don't think they will. But you never know.
So you're gonna look for Nazeem, and I think some of the Templars will let you know that they last saw her with the Night Vigilance children. It looked like they were on their way up onto the top of the tower. There's like a balcony, or not balcony, but you know how like on the roof of many apartments there's like a mini park, like on top of an apartment. So I'm gonna say that there's this really beautiful like patio like thing at the very top of the White Spire.
Very Orlesian.
I'm sorry.
Very
Orlesian. Very Gwenail.
Yeah.
Again, this is Gwenail's idea to have that there.
Live classical music.
And I think Nazeem thought that would be a really nice place to bring the two kids, because it is beautiful up there, and you'll emerge up on, if you follow the suggestions of the Templars, you'll actually see Nazeem, and she is with the two kids, and she's like pointing out different spots around the city because this is the highest point in all of Orlais. And so you'll hear Arabella say, "Wow, we can see everything from here. Ooh, can we see Ferelden Castle from here?" And Nazeem's going to chuckle and says, "I'm afraid not, little one. We're pretty high, but we're not that high." "Oh, well, what direction would it be?" "I think Ferelden is in that direction, if I remember correctly," Nazeem says. "Though geography was never my best subject."
Leon's going to burst in with, "Oh, but even if we were high enough, due to the curvature of Ferelden, you won't be able to see it because it'll be just out of sight."
"Curvature?" Arabella asks, not like with a very puzzled look on her face.
"Yes, you see, the world is actually like a round circle, see? And then if you're on this point and you look out, Ferelden Castle will be just a little over the horizon, so you'll never be able to see it."
"But if the world was like a ball, wouldn't we just be falling off of it?"
Well, that's because magic keeps you down. There's a special magic that just keeps everyone on the earth, you know.
"I've never heard of that kind of magic."
I read it in a book somewhere.
He says, like, so there's a special magic that keeps us on the earth?
Yeah, people are still researching it, but it's probably a type of earth magic. You'll have to talk to a dwarf to learn more about that.
My mommy can dispel that,
Oh,
Arabella says.
but then we'd all float away. Also,
Yeah, then we could be like Daddy.
oh no. Leon's sort of gears are turning. Who are your parents? They seem pretty strong.
I think that by this point, Amaya will pipe up and says, "Andrea and Cedric, Ashwood."
Oh no. Oh, wow, they're very strong, aren't they? Yeah. He looks over at Nazeem like, oh no.
Uh-huh. My mommy's the strongest, she says. Arabella
Oh,
says.
so we must thank them for this nice weather.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mommy and Daddy made the weather.
Oh boy. Well, you better go play in this nice weather while we still have it. Do you mind if I just go talk to Nazeem for a bit?
Okay. And I guess she'll go over to the gardens or something and kind of just look around at the different flowers and blossoms, and Amaya is gonna follow as well and watch her sister.
Okay.
So, Leon, I heard that you're coming and going. I have to say I'm a little disappointed that you're going to be leaving so soon after you arrived.
Yeah, things are getting a little crazy. I've got some good news and bad news for you. And he sort of takes out a dragon tooth and says, "Well, the good news is I get to keep my promise." He hands her the dragon tooth.
She takes it and says, "I didn't exactly expect you to get one of these things."
Well, me
How
neither.
did you get one of these things?
Well, it's a long story involving a circus, and then dragons, and then people, and then fire, and magic, and chakra. Whew, oh man, it's a long story.
This tooth looks like it's been freshly removed.
Yeah, it was a live dragon, at least before we killed it. Yeah, it was terrorizing
You
the
killed the
circus
dragon.
with help. Um, yeah. You see, I was visiting a circus because human interaction is important. After being in the forest for months or I guess weeks, months, I don't know, a while. Time loses sense in the forest, and then dragons started attacking, and so I had to go fight them with some very interesting adventures. And then, yeah, that's why I'm back. More dragons.
I have to say, I'm quite impressed. You went off to go research some plants, and you come back with spoils from a dragon?
Yeah, and there's a big old dragon right outside of town that we're about to go deal with.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You're going to go and exterminate said dragon?
Yeah, I was hoping that you would come along with us if you had the time.
I definitely would be very tempted, but unfortunately the Night Vigilant specifically asked me to watch the children while they were off to help you with taking out the dragon.
No worries. That's fine. But that comes to my second point with the Night Vigilant. How are you feeling about doing some more babysitting? Specifically, me babysitting. You see, the Night Vigilant really wants me to go with the Templar now that I found, well, dragons, and it's no longer safe.
Yes, he told me about that as well. And I... It was really difficult, Leon, because after discussing things over with the Night Vigilant, he decided that I just got promoted recently to Night Captain, and all of a sudden I have all these responsibilities on my plate, and it just it's not a good time, unfortunately, for me to leave Orlais. Which is why he ended up saying that he would be able to find somebody else, unfortunately.
Oh, well, congratulations on your promotion, and you're moving up in the world. You've got some new recruits under you because of your promotion?
Oh yes, a whole lot more. It's the responsibilities is very overwhelming.
Oh man.
Sometimes during my evaluation, the Night Vigilant would ask me, so what's the worst part of your job? Oh, and where do you see yourself in 5 years? And half the time I want to say, same job, higher pay? But I don't think that necessarily... Yeah, he normally gives me a it doesn't quite work out that way.
Unfortunate. Yeah, they don't really pay you much, do they? They give you free room and board, but look at the quarters they give you.
Her smile kind of disappears a little bit, and you can tell that she is also kind of upset, because it sounds like she really would love to go and on your little excursion and leave the circle. But she says, I'll tell you what, Leon, if I can't physically go with you to your dragon adventures, maybe this might help you along the way. And she goes into her pack and she pulls out a stack of surprisingly a stack of paper, and she'll hand it to you, and she says, I've actually been making a lot more paper airships lately, and I found that this particular type of paper makes particularly aerodynamic airships, and with this stack of paper, your paper airships now become more accurate. So when you use paper airships for the purposes of aiming at a creature, you get to add +2 to your attack roll to hit someone with a rune spell.
Neat. Wow, these'll help out quite a lot, especially with dragons. They move around a lot, and now I don't have to use my expensive writing paper.
Hopefully you won't have to use it too often, though.
Oh yeah. Hopefully as well. Whew. Gets a little scary out there sometimes, but you know, I'm pretty good with patching myself up, and got a good group of people. And so I'm disappointed that you won't be able to make it. I understand that, you know, you're moving up in the world. You've got things you need to do, and I'm happy for you. You know, you're going to continue doing great things.
Now you sound like my father.
Oh no, is that the one who keeps telling you, oh, you should try out this person? I know a guy for you. Who keeps trying to set you up?
I don't think I ever mentioned my father much, but just this whole situation of me unfortunately not being able to come with you, and it just reminds me of, I realize that I'm also starting to sound just like my father as well, talking about duty and talking about how, oh, there's something that is bigger than both of us and all that good stuff. But my father was a Grey Warden.
Oh.
And he unfortunately didn't make it past the last blight. He died very early on in Ostagar.
I'm sorry about that.
He was a good man, and he inspired a lot of people and recruited a lot of Grey Wardens. Duncan was his name, she says.
Man, I heard that, you know, at least there were quite a lot of Grey Warden heroes who did a lot to stop the Blight. Thanks to their sacrifice, you know, they're still around today.
I'd like to believe that even though he didn't live to see the end, he helped propel other people towards ending it eventually.
Yeah. Grey Wardens back then weren't really thought of well, but I'm glad that he was able to turn everything around.
I have to admit that because of what happened to my father, for the longest time, it soured me a little bit with the Grey Wardens. Not because I don't believe in what they did, because obviously I think if it weren't for them, we would have been in worse shape than we were during the last blight. Not that the last blight was all that amazing. At the end, I just felt my calling was at the Circle instead.
Yeah, well, at least I'm glad that you chose the Circle.
I am too. And it's strange, all of these memories about the Wardens are coming back since I believe a companion of yours, Pasha, was talking to me and about a mutual friend that we both had who was recruited recently by the Wardens.
Oh, wow. Pasha usually doesn't talk a lot about her friends. Do you know what their name was?
Daniel Lento was the one that was recruited. And I believe the Grey Wardens that were with him and actually constricted him was Fergus Kuzland and a gentleman named Corin, she says.
Oh, Corin and Ferris Kuzlin. That's an unusual name.
But at any rate, was there anything else, Leon, that I can do for you?
If you have time, I've been traveling with a circus just a little outside of town. If you had any time, you wanna see a circus, come stop by and see us.
Oh boy, can we go to the circus? Arabella says. Maybe later this afternoon.
Yeah.
Is there going to be mages doing tricks there at the circus? She asks.
I don't know of any mages doing tricks specifically, but occasionally there are some mages around.
I ask, is there going to be a knife thrower? Is someone going to throw knives at people's heads with apples on top?
Well, we did have one act, and it did go pretty well. But I don't know if they're going to be performing tonight.
And then Amaya and Arabella, they start, talking about the circus and what they want to do, and they go there, what they want to eat, and all that good stuff. I'm going to say that before you leave, Nazeem's going to say, I'm not going to lie to you, Leon. When I was talking with the Night Vigilant, he was mentioning the possibility of assigning Sir Garrison with you.
Oh.
And I'm sure that that's probably not what you want to hear.
Yeah. But hopefully he doesn't. Oh man, knowing him, he's probably just going to choose the first one who walks into his office, isn't he? Ugh.
Well, Sir Garrison recently got relieved from his last charge, and he's a lieutenant, so he's up there, which means that he is a reasonable candidate to go out with on an excursion like yours, if you're still going to be pursuing dragons.
Yeah. Oh boy. I guess I gotta mentally prepare myself for that. Oh. Yeah.
Sir Garrison can be very challenging at times, but he does take his job very seriously. And I have to give him some credit where credit is due.
Do you happen to have any tips or tricks with handling him? Like, oh, he's weak to orange soda or something.
What's orange soda? She asks.
You know, at the circus, you hear about all these weird beverages. It's like, it's super sweet and tangy. It's so weird. Circus food.
I wouldn't say that that Sir Garrison has a sweet tooth by any stretch of the imagination, unfortunately.
Alright. Well, you know what they say. You have to kill him with kindness.
He's allergic to nuts, but I wouldn't go there, she says.
Yeah, no, never. No. Alright. That's a little weird, because in the forest, about most of the things we eat is nuts. Tree nuts, specifically.
Yes, well, on our way through the forest, he actually broke out into hives a few times.
Oh dear. It's a good thing we've got a doctor on hand in the circus.
All I'm going to say is just one of the challenges of growing up is that you have to deal with a lot of very different people, Leon, and sometimes some people are easier to get along with than others, and you just have to learn how to work with them in order for you to be successful at your task.
Yeah, it's a little easier when people haven't, literally murdered your parents, but,
I get that. But maybe the next time you come around, I'll be more available and we might be able to reassign and swap.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then you can fight some dragons with me.
Oh, well, that's if you haven't already killed all of the lot of them out there.
Oh, I hear there's a lot of them out there. Like this huge dragon out on the ridge. Whew. Whew.
There's a dragon outside of the city, Arabella says. Oh, can we, Amaya, we can take it down. I can heal you if you get hurt. Amaya says, that is tempting, but it sounds like it's a pretty big dragon. That's okay. She says, Mommy and Daddy will come if things get really, really crazy.
Wow.
I don't know if you should rely on Mom and Dad all the time, Arabella. What? What are you talking about, Amaya? You're silly. You're silly, she says.
Wow, looks like you've got your hands full here. I'll leave it to you. And thanks for, just being here.
Sir Trevalyen will walk up to you and she'll actually wrap her arms around you and give you a tight hug.
It's nice coming home.
You'll always have a place here. So.
Thanks for making me feel like home.
Be a good man, Leon. You're not a boy anymore. I used to say be a good boy, Leon. Be a good man.
I always try.
Good. And we'll end the scene there. All right. Russo. So you're making your way back to the circus.
Yep.
I'm going to say that you get to the circus, and Balin, he's got this distant look on his face. Like he's looking out into the distance towards towards the city of Orlais. And he's just staring into the city for some reason.
I'm gonna do my best to be quiet, coming up to him and just kind of sit down next to him. Hey, kiddo.
He, for a few seconds, doesn't seem like he even noticed that you were there. But then a few seconds after you said, hey, kiddo, he blinks a little bit and he turns to you and he says, hi, Daddy, you're back.
Yeah, I told you I was only gonna be away a short bit. You alright?
No. My hand's burning, he says as he holds up his mark. It's burning really bad. Mr. Athon tried to put some kind of slimy thing on it to make it feel better, and it worked. It worked for a little bit, but now it's burning again.
Do you mind showing it to me?
He'll show it to you. The mark itself looks the same as it did before. It doesn't look physically different from before.
That's because we're real close to what I told you, Balin.
It's weird. I feel like something's pulling me. It's hard to describe. It feels like it's trying to pull me there, he says, and he's pointing towards the city.
Listen, son, I've been avoiding this because I really didn't know what to do, but it's at our doorstep at this point. You're a Penta'Viv, and I don't really know how to start introducing you to any of this, and I'm beyond paranoid of what's gonna happen next, so I'm gonna have to go with the rest of deal with the big scary dragon, and then when we come back, there's some people you have to meet.
I'm a Penta'Viv?
Yeah, you're one of 5. Remember when we first saw the mark about a month or 2 ago?
So I can make things light and dark, like Miss Kenna can. I can go invisible. He looks really excited when he says that.
As fun as that would be, unfortunately, I think you have the one that's missing fire.
I can shoot fireballs.
Probably. I don't know how you do it, but they do it.
Oh my, he says, wow. Daddy, does that mean I'm a mage?
I don't think so.
Are you sure? Maybe I should ask Mr. Daretham. He'll know.
You don't need to ask Daretham.
But he's so smart, and he knows all about magic.
This is magic, but it's something different. Do you hear anything calling to you in your head? Do you feel a connection anywhere else than here or to the city?
I don't hear anything. But like I said, I feel like something's pulling me.
Yeah, it's because you can sense the others. I've heard about it, but I don't know the specifics. Balin, being a Penta'Viv, something unearthly special that only a very select group per generation get to have. You're gonna have magic, but I don't think you're a mage. I think it's the specific thing. And I've been struggling because I'm kind of going through the same thing with you right now.
So, I don't have to go to a circle?
If I have any say in it, you won't.
Oh, good, he says, as I don't want to go anywhere, but stay with you, Daddy.
And I never want you to leave. Anyway, after this fight and we meet some people, I think it'll be good enough time for me and you to start trying to ride Valor.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, with me being able to ride Valor and having all these magic fire powers, I can help you with the dragon.
Oh my.
Come on, Daddy, we'd make a good team.
Oh, I have no doubt that you're going to be the most fearless warrior one day. It's just, I'm a little paranoid about what that might be.
So I can help with the dragon?
We'll go over some steps and basics, but I really think you need some proper training first, and quite frankly, a full childhood left.
Well, fighting the dragon will be really good training.
Balin, it's a dragon. It's not play fighting with you. It's a real mythical creature that's acting the only way that it knows.
But why?
Because if I can get hurt with all of my experience, I don't know if it's safe to bring a child there.
It's all in the why, he says.
You know, I've heard that phrase before.
Yeah, I just said it.
No, earlier.
I don't understand, Daddy.
Remember when Pasha and everyone first arrived and she said that she knew me from many years ago?
Yes?
One thing I haven't talked about, because it's tough for me, Balin, is I was in Kirkwall when the last play happened a long time before you were born, and I only had hopes and admirations that you'd come, but there was a warrior there that I saw after me and my brother went back to our destroyed house and realized there was no food, and we scavenged around. And as I was leaving, I saw this woman on a horse leaving with another fellow, and I begged for food, and she gave me something and said, "Find your why." And her name was Halisair.
She was the fire one.
Yeah. I didn't know it at the time.
Balin seems to be in very deep thought. And then you start seeing tears going down his eyes. And his eyes start to turn a little red as he's crying.
Just gonna turn to him.
Daddy, why am I crying? I feel sad, but I don't know why I feel sad.
I don't know. This is all new to me. Balin, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. And I'm gonna help you figure out everything about being a guardian. It's just... I'm ready to be fully transparent with you. After we talk to them, I'll tell you all about your mom, your dad, everything.
Balin walks up to you and he wraps his arms around your waist and he just continues to cry.
I'm just gonna hold him and look back up at the city.
That's when Russo and the rest of the dragon avatars start hearing singing in their ears. And the singing's getting louder very quickly. Like as quickly as it was the last time you heard the singing increased when you were out and about. Just before Pasha saw the Visnomer in the distance. You feel something coming to the city very quickly. Super quickly.
Am I still at the tower or am I at the circle?
You are... I'm going to say that you are probably currently halfway, a little more than halfway down the tower, because you're on your way out.
Leon's going to look at the stairs. And then start running back up the stairs, and then because he did see the two not assassins fix his cup and
Yeah.
like, shoot. He's gonna yell, Night Vigilant Dragon!
So you're gonna be running up the stairs to go try to find Cedric. Meanwhile, Cedric is actually lower in the tower because he went off to find Hugh.
Yeah, no, makes
So, and Hugh's quarters are lower.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of just did this.
Yes!
Meanwhile, while this is happening, how about the rest of the group? So I think the four of you are at the circus right now. What do you four do when you feel this singing happening?
I should say, Dartham actually doesn't notice at first. He's still very much processing everything that happened last time. But yeah, So everyone else reacts first.
I'm probably with Dartham. I just look at Dartham. I give him like this like kind of feared look. Can you hear that?
What?
Can you hear that?
I think Pash would be attempting to grab people just to see if she can do the like hold hands, kumbaya moment. Can we hear anything?
Dartham would actually he would initially flinch back, but then like remember I can touch people now, and he will actually very gingerly reach out, not touch Pasha's hand, but will grab Tyrion's. And we'll actually hold on.
Are all four of you? So the four of you are now holding hands? Is that what's happening?
First, I'd like to get up and like take Balin to Athon and be like, watch him.
Athon will nod and say, "Of course." And you'll hear Valor squawk, "Rah! Rah!" squawking at you.
It might be time to go, girl.
Rah! She
Balin,
starts scratching on the door, on the door of the cage.
Balin, don't leave this wagon. I'll be back.
Okay, but if you need backup, fra fra fra. As if he's like throwing fireballs in places.
I got it.
No.
Okay.
Should have said it was like water or something like not cool to a kid.
Hey!
I'm sorry. Who was the one who did a Demon Crows on us? I get payback.
Crying.
I'm gonna grab Valor's reins and meet the rest of them.
Release the griffin. Okay.
Release the
So, by this point, the wind is actually starting to pick up, and you're starting to hear the sound of thunder in the distance, rumbling, and the rumbling is getting louder and louder. I'm gonna say that the clouds are starting to form overhead, Cedric and Andrea, which is odd because Cedric's like, I thought I activated my bracer. Why is it starting to storm again? And one thing I will point out, that you know that the bracer is supposed to keep the stormy weather of the Orlais at bay because it's natural weather. But you don't have a way of nullifying weather that comes from magical sources, just as an FYI. So this is interesting.
I'd like to do something. So when we kind of see sound, what Tyrion's gonna do, he's gonna look around, he's gonna pull out the rifle, and he's gonna try to use the scope to see, like, if you could see a dragon. He's gonna, like...
Smart.
Wait a minute.
Very smart.
You got something for this?
And I have the stats for your rifle,
Yes.
so you can see a good... Go ahead and roll a spot check with your rifle.
Alrighty. So I can see up to 500 yards with this baby.
Yep.
So
The DC is not going to be that hard. The TN is not going to be that hard.
19 with 6.
Oh my
I'm fine.
goodness. Yeah, so you see in the distance very clearly the dragon, and it is moving at like lightning fast speed, like through the air, like almost like you can almost visually see the sonic boom that it's forming as it's hurtling its way towards the direction of the city. And I'm gonna say with a 19, by your calculations, it looks like it's heading right for the White Spire. Like just beelining into the White Spire.
Yeah, everyone, Tyrion says a Devinter curse. Like, gosh, damn it. He looks at the rest of them. I can see the dragon from here. It's making its way to the White Spire. And it's coming in fast.
Good job, Tyrion, Nathan says. Very smart. Do you think you can, like, fire at it as it's flying by?
I could, but it's gonna be a difficult shot.
The wind is picking up. That might be tough. And Nathan actually, like, goes up to Tyrion, and he'll take his two hands, and he'll actually hold the rifle to help you steady it. And actually, because Nathan's done this, he has very steady hands. And it actually lines you can see that your shots, if you were to take a shot, would line up and be a lot more effective if Nathan was assisting you.
Okay. I could take an early shot, but it's up to all of you if I can do it.
It might
Maybe
distract
we
from the distance.
That's our only bet.
Darthan would say, if you can, aim for the wings who falls.
Understood. He's gonna aim for the wings. Help
Like
me
a
out with
wing
this,
joint,
Nathan.
yeah.
Yeah, help me out with this,
All right.
Nathan.
You got it, buddy. Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Alrighty.
With like a +2 from Nathan or something?
With Nathan assisting, you take advantage to this shot.
Okay.
Ooh.
Alrighty. So on a normal check, Tyrion can only has a +3 because he doesn't know how to use his weapon right now. But
That's fine. You still get advantage.
Yeah,
That's fine.
But I'm also aiming, so I get a +1 to the attack roll.
So 4.
Yes. Go for it.
Attack number 1 and attack number 2. 14 is the highest I got. Oh, it's a terrible roll.
Not quite,
Damn it.
unfortunately. So it's super close. You were so close.
That was a 15.
But you try to fire a shot, and you just barely. It looks like you could have nicked its wing, but it just barely whizzes past him. You can see.
But does it get its attention? What does it get its attention, maybe?
It seems to. I think it'll notice you, but not enough to like interrupt its flight. So it's going to keep moving towards the city. I will though say that when you guys were having your kumbaya moment, because at least 3 of you were having your kumbaya moment,
4.
correct?
4.
4. Wait, did Russo end up?
I was making my way to them with valor.
Okay, I'll say that before Tyrion takes out his sniper rifle, you had your kumbaya moment. So when you had 3 of you together, you were hearing the singing clearly, but you weren't getting any extra information from that. When Russo like grabs a hold of your hands, the singing morphs to the point that it distinctly sounds like a female's voice. Before it was discernible whether it was a male or female, but it sounds feminine. It sounds female.
Makes sense. High dragons are always female, so.
But you don't think it's coming. But I'm gonna say though that this singing isn't coming from the dragon.
Oh.
The singing seems to be coming from some other source entirely.
Where the hell is Leon?
Meanwhile, Leon is going up the stairs.
Last time, I think it was in the spire. Damn it.
Either way, we have to meet them there. I don't think we're gonna get the dragon out.
No, I cannot.
Valor screams as it notices the dragon. By this point, Tyrion has taken the shot.
Yeah.
And the dragon flies by, and Valor seems like ready to.
I think everyone looks over at Pasha at once.
Pasha, I can go bother the thing and risk
Good
it.
luck.
Alright.
I suppose try to lead it to a plateau outside the city somewhere.
I can try.
We'll find the rest to meet you out there.
Okay, ride check. with griffins. That is 22.
Hey.
So you will make your way and following after the dragon. Now the dragon is super fast, and Valor is not quite as fast, but is certainly moving at a very high speed. You believe you'll be able to catch up to the dragon. And let me just update. You guys will start heading to the spire as quickly as you are able to. And I am just going to flip the map on roll 20.
Okay. Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, this is gonna be deadly real quick.
Oh no!
Not the children.